The ETH bull is running. Ethereum is making its move. Look at this. Someone posted a comment under a video, said, do you think I should sell at 600? Are you out of your mind? You don't understand what I'm talking about if you think 600 is all we're going to. I made this video January 15th, where I said, quite prophetically, that Bitcoin's capitulation to Ethereum is coming, and we're only just getting started. I made this video on January 15th. This is Ethereum's price compared to Bitcoin. Here's January 15. Ethereum was 0.018 of Ethereum. Ethereum was 0.018 of Bitcoin's price. It is now 0.36. It has doubled. In other words, Ethereum has gone up twice as fast as Bitcoin since I made the video. And we're only just getting started. The chips are beginning to fall. One of the reasons that when I made my video, and I listen to it again, the reason I made that video, or just try to keep up with the new ones, whatever you want to do, but make sure you subscribe, because I do this, I come out with a flurry of 5 to 10 videos in a couple days, and then I go away for a while. So if you don't subscribe, YouTube will just forget about me, and it won't recommend you, or you'll miss, the ones that come out. So subscribe. But anyways, a lot of the Bitcoiners who think they're real smart say, well, listen, they say, Bitcoin, we're just trying to be digital gold. We want to be safe and secure. And all those other chains like Ethereum, they're doing all these fancy things. We're not going to do those because we are digital gold. That's the ultimate, thing to be the reserve currency. Well, guess what? Ethereum wants to be digital gold too. That is Ether. ETH is digital gold. ETH is better digital gold than Bitcoin. That is what I believe. It's not like I'm making some sort of trade-off. We want the digital gold story as well. And it's not because we don't get it and we don't understand what it means to be conservative about finance. No, we get all that. Just ETH is better at it. And what I wrote in my tweet, Ethereum's monetary policy will issue less than 1% of new ETH. Let me show you here. It's easier to see in this video that I made, the one I mentioned here, Jan 15th. And the link to this chart should be under that video. This is the issuance rate of new coins. And just to explain, Bitcoin issues new tokens to the miners who process the transaction. In other words, the printing of new coins pays for the security. Bitcoiners love to brag about someday, they won't issue any new coins. Well, how do you pay for security? It's supposed to be transaction fees, but there aren't many. We'll get to that. Transaction fees are, that's a whole nother story. Could be a problem for Ethereum in the short run, because there's Ethereum, now that I mentioned it, where is that link? This is transaction fees. Ethereum passed Bitcoin. People are paying more in fees on Ethereum than they are on Bitcoin, and recently it spiked. What did Yogi Berra, the famous Yogi Berra quote? Nobody goes to that club anymore. It's too crowded, right? Well, nobody's using Ethereum. It's too expensive. It's expensive because everybody's using it. We'll get to that. Let me just stick to where I was here on pace here. So this is Ethereum's issuance rate is a little higher than Bitcoin's, and this is through time here. I don't know where we are. Within a year or two, it's going to look like this, where Ethereum's issuance rate is slightly higher than Bitcoin's, but we have an ace in the hole. Transaction fees paid in Ethereum will burn that Ethereum, taking them out of supply. So if we're like this, and then Ethereum is burning Ethereum based on fees, this blue goes below Bitcoin. We have a better monetary policy. It goes below Bitcoin and assures security, as opposed to Bitcoins. They're not assuring security. They're just hoping, right? So anyways, listen. I don't want to beat, you can follow my Twitter here if you want to, I try to tweet a fair amount these days, as opposed to the videos, which I don't do all the time. Okay, so we talked about the fees. Why are the fees on Ethereum going up so high? DeFi, baby. Decentralized finance. All the applications on Ethereum. It's not that there just are a lot, and it's not like stupid little things. It's real financial applications that are useful. You've got MakerDAO. I can go on there and borrow dollars at a 0% interest rate. Okay? Borrow the DAI token. DAI token is a dollar price peg token backed by Ethereum, over collateralized. How much collateral they have in Bank of America? None. Don't have to trust anyone. You trust the smart contract. So you're borrowing dollars for free. You can stick them into Compound and earn a high return on Compound. And one of the reasons it's a high return is because they're giving away their token for free. You take that and you sell it on Uniswap. It's just a money machine, right? And it was like a free money machine. Now with the fees, you sort of have to be a whale to do all this now. You're going to be dealing in thousands of dollars per transaction, or it's just too expensive with the fees right now. And I don't know for how long. I'll talk about second layer solutions. It's coming, but we need it yesterday. Coming right now isn't good enough, but I don't know what happens. Maybe everything plugs along, or maybe, listen, like I said, did I say? The Ethereum, that usually what happens with the crazy crypto bull markets is we take out the old high and go 2 to 10 times higher than the old high, which means we're going at 2,000 or 10,000. But it might take 6 years to get there. It might take 6 months. It might take 6 years. I don't know. If everything sort of grinds to a halt because of problems with fees, maybe it takes a while to get there. Maybe not. Don't know. Don't try to time this market. Just be in the right thing. We're in Ethereum because it's the winner. Eventually, the winner is proven true. And you got to have the patience and the timing to be able to wait for it. Right now, we're having a nice rally, but I'm not cashing out yet. You know when you cash out? When your Uber driver, when your uncle says, you know what? I think Bitcoin's price, Ethereum's market cap is going to be bigger than Bitcoin's. And the two are close. Like, that's when we're going to know. Here you can see Bitcoin's market cap 200 billion, Ethereum's market cap 50 billion. Okay? Ethereum is 25% of the size of Bitcoin market cap. Market cap is, if you take all the tokens times the price, what does it add up to? It's the size of the whole value of all the tokens. Ethereum is gaining on Bitcoin. That is the story that is going to cause excitement. It's going to get more people to pile in. It's going to catch up to Bitcoin. And when it's catching it up, it's going to be mainstream news. And that might ring the bell to the end of this rally. When that happens, when the Uber driver knows what I'm telling you right now, that's when it's over. But my bet is Ethereum wins on the crash, the next crash. Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin. Bitcoin, in the last crash, I told everybody, go run to Bitcoin, right? When in 2018, we ran to Bitcoin, and everybody ran to Bitcoin, and that was the place to be. It went down the least, only 80% instead of 90, right? But on the next crash, I bet Ethereum outperforms on the downside. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So DeFi, we're seeing Ethereum is being locked up at a rapid rate here. Everybody is locking it up in order to run and to facilitate. Someone described this, David Hoffman just coined the term, I believe, that Ether is economic bandwidth. It provides economic bandwidth for all these applications. So the gas fees, bit of a problem. By the way, don't tell anyone I told you. Between me and you, keep it on the down low. Fees are the lowest at like 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's sort of America is done and Asia hasn't woken up yet. You've got a couple hours here. Look at these. This fee, is this refreshed? 100 Gwei for fast. That was expensive a few weeks ago, but now that's cheap. Like, things are moving. in a few hours, Asia wakes up, transactions aren't even going through. So, but go to this, you can go to this ethgasstation.com, ethgasstation.info, actually, ethgasstation.info, and hit this page and you can see what there are. So when you put it through a transaction, you can see what the current rate is and sort of put in a little more and hope you get lucky. I mean, it's tough moving out there. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. But so, how do we deal with the high gas issues? Actually, first thing I wanted to mention here is, so scaling has been something we've been talking about for a long time. Bitcoin's got the same issue. If anyone was using Bitcoin, it would have the same problem. There's nothing to do on Bitcoin, so they don't have this problem right now. But they would if something happened. So the first types of scaling that we saw were this sort of sharding, they call it. So Bitcoin famously chose one second layer solution for scaling on Bitcoin, Lightning Network. Lightning Network is payment channels or state channels. Ethereum had 5 or 6 implementations of this state channels thing, and Plasma, which is similar, had all these attempts, and guess what? It just doesn't work. Lightning Network, it doesn't work. I mean, it might work someday, somehow, but please. What they figured out is add some zero-knowledge proofs into these scaling options, and all of a sudden you get something that does work. And there are some of these available now on Ethereum. But even that might not is not far enough. What's really coming is this ZK rollups. You know, there's Loopring has already launched something. This ZK Sync, I don't know. There's a competition. Reddit wants to use Ethereum, give everybody a wallet who uses Reddit. But they're looking for a scaling solution. This ZK Sync is in the running. And so it's coming, but we need scaling yesterday. So and I think what's going to happen is when the scaling solution, Ethereum doesn't need to fork for this scaling to work. But what does need to happen are the applications have to relaunch with some new code. So for example, Uniswap recently, there was Uniswap, and then they created Uniswap 2, and they said, and it's like, it's not an upgrade, it's just it's Uniswap 2, and they try to get everyone to move from 1 to 2. Everybody has to physically take their cash or their tokens and move them over to Uniswap 2. Everybody did, it was amazing. But if you want scaling, we're going to have to do Uniswap 3. V3, I think Compound, they'd have to relaunch their whole thing and get everybody to move. So I don't know that scaling's happening anytime soon, and I think high fees apparently are here to stay. I don't know if that just keeps things slower or expensive, or maybe that makes Ethereum's price go up. I have no idea, but you know, it's going to bring L2 layer 2 scaling here faster than otherwise because people are panicking. You know, Kyber, you would never hear them talk without bragging about how everything's on layer 1, and now they're like, oh shit, everything's on layer 1, everything's on chain, everything's fucking expensive now. These transactions. I looked at a Kyber transaction today, I think it was $60 for a trade. I mean, it's crazy. So, you know, listen, it's not easy. We're in a bull right now, which, you know, the price, again, I follow fundamentals, which is the transaction fees, the usage, the money being locked up, the applications, the adoption, the number of users. All of those things are what I look for, and I know that price or value follows. As far as the actual dollar price, mostly what matters is the central bank printing. If they keep printing, prices keep going up. They're printing and sending it into financial markets. They're not printing it and giving the money to average Joe Schmo. I know they make a big deal about, you know, Congress sent people $1,000 and they're giving some people this and they gave some companies a little bit of money, you know, some of the workers, but most of the money goes to giant financial institutions. And it only takes a couple drops of those buckets of money in crypto to make prices go straight up. That's what we have. But if the Fed they've stopped printing now because they realize they printed a little too much here. This is crazy. And eventually the markets will start crashing and then they'll print again. And that is more of a determinant of the price in the short run. So you always got to be careful here, okay? So that's the scaling. And also, I wanted to mention, because there was a lot in the news, again, the Bitcoiners. Oh, the Bitcoiners. They need tissues to wipe their tears. It's sad. And they're looking for anything. So they came up with this thing. What is the ETH supply? We can't figure out what the supply of Ethereum is. How do you know what the supply of Ethereum is? So the thing is, in Bitcoin, it's pretty easy. It's a much simpler system. Every 10 minutes, a block is closed and X number of coins are minted. And so it's pretty easy to know how many coins have been created, right? And they built that into wallets and clients. It's a cool thing. Oh, this is how many Bitcoins there are. Now with Ethereum, all the nodes know. All the nodes are in sync. There's no issue with how the supply of Ethereum. It's not like Ethereum doesn't know how much is in Ethereum. But if you want to stick it in a wallet, it's actually a little more tricky. Blocks are closing every 15 seconds. The amount of rewards is not like a fixed thing. There's different things that are variable and by different times of, and how long. And even if you figure out exactly how much is on the Ethereum chain, 15 seconds later, it's slightly different if you go down to the micro level. But if, listen, as Andreas Antonopoulos, who is a, unbiased genius on the topic, says the ETH supply thing is a silly gotcha that doesn't make much sense if you understand how Ethereum works. And, so, and also there was a great video. Vitalik Buterin spoke on, God, you can find David Hoffman at Trustless State. He does these videos. They had a video recently, him and Brian. Sorry, I'll try to put the link under this video. They had a great video with Vitalik Buterin who just explained this for 45 minutes because it's kind of an important thing. If you think that Ethereum itself can't keep track of its own tokens, that's a pretty big problem. So people came out and spoke about it. But the Bitcoiners, they're just, they're reaching for anything here. Also, I think is big news, and you don't hear much about it, is JP Morgan is all in on Ethereum. Jamie Dimon said, hey, Bitcoin's fraud. I don't think it's fraud. I just think it doesn't work. I think Bitcoin's MySpace, right? It's not a fraud. But JP Morgan loves blockchain. They love Ethereum. They forked a version of Ethereum and called it Quorum. And, most blockchains are doing nothing other than Ethereum. This Quorum is actually used and liked by different Fortune 500 companies. There's several companies helping the Fortune 500 companies, or S&P 500, or the largest corporations in America. There's Ernst & Young is helping these big corporations get on Ethereum. Microsoft is helping. And JP Morgan is in the game, bringing Ethereum to large corporations and banks. Sorry, XRP. It's not XRP. Consensus, one of the largest development companies on Ethereum, founded by an Ethereum founder, Joe Lubin. Also, they focus on bringing blockchain to large corporations and to governments as well. JP Morgan raised $50 million and they put in 20 milski of their own money into Consensus. There were rumors months ago they were going to just buy it outright. We'll see, maybe they will, but this is big news. Even China's blockchain is going to connect to Ethereum. They have to. How are they going to do international trade? And what are they going to use? Ethereum. Finally, the FAT Protocol Thesis. For those of you who have heard about it, it's an interesting thesis that was introduced, and I'm all in on it. I believe it. So, http:// that is the protocol of the web, right? TCP/IP, the protocol for the internet, right? Those are thin protocols. No value accrued to those. The people who invented those didn't get rich. The value was accumulated on the applications built on top of those protocols. The FAT Protocol Thesis says that Ethereum, which is a protocol, is fat not only in that it has a lot more code and a lot more intricate and updated and worked on, but it also accrues value. And the idea is that ETH token will accrue more value than all the tokens on top of it. Now, there's some disagreement on exactly what it means. In my head, my understanding, my basic belief is that ETH will always be one of the top 3 or 5 biggest tokens on Ethereum, right? I don't think it always has to be the biggest. I don't think its market cap has to total more than every single token on it. And these things will go up and down, and there'll be times that some token becomes bigger than ETH for a minute, and then something happens and it goes down. I believe that value is accruing to ETH, and it's a juggernaut. It's running now. I've seen these things go, and it can go fast. I did one tweet. I said it's going to be at 1,000 very soon, which at this pace it will be, right? But like I said, this pace can change in a heartbeat. Anything can happen. So, be smart, be careful. And did I show you my shirt? Go Ethereum.